What's going on, guys? It's James The Yorkshire Modeller back with you again, and we have issue 40 of Hachette Partworks Spitfire, and in this one we're starting the fibre optics on the left wing. So yes, guys, obviously I've already got the Spitfire here. I've got the left wing all set up ready for you guys. So what we're doing is the fibre optics on the left wing. We get the LED there. We get the three different fibre optics. So there's two short, one medium, and one long. We get the cable there. The label to go on that cable, and then we get three screws to attach the kind of the holder part down. So what we need to do first, obviously we've got two sets of parts that we're dealing with this time. So we've got all the parts from issue 40 that we didn't build, issue 39, sorry, that we didn't build, and then we've got all of the ones in this pack just here as well. So we'll just take all these bits out. Now these fibre optic bits, as I say, you get three different lengths. So there's one long, one medium, and then two short. Let me just grab these out with my tweezers. Now I have the parts that we did with issue 39 with the gluing these bits together. I've left those for a couple of days to dry properly, just because I didn't want to get the super glue onto the fibre optics, onto these these clear bits, because they can damage them, they can make them brittle, and then they're likely to snap, and then you're not going to get the fibre optics running through. So I wanted to do that really well and get it done properly. So the first part of the instructions is to take part C from the frame 39.1, which is this one just here. So this little bit is what is going to actually hold the fibre optic cables into position. So get rid of that bit. So take the part C from 39.1 and the four fibre optic cables. Thread the ends of the cables into the holes in part C. Note the orientation of part C on the inset picture. So what you want is, with part C, that little bit, see if I can hold it a bit better in the camera. There you go. That little kind of nub needs to face to where the shorter end of the fibre optics go. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So all we do is thread these through. It doesn't matter, I don't think it matters which order you put them into these holes, but I'm just going to kind of group them together so the longer ones go together, and then we'll put the two shorter ones in there as well. So that is those fibre optics in there just like that, and let me show you on this camera here so you can see where that little nub is. It's kind of on the shorter end, so if I just hold those bits, all the fibre optics are on that side, and that little nub is facing away from the longer ends. Now what we need to do is take the optical fibre grip 39.3, which is this one, this one just here, and thread the ends of the optical fibres into the grip so that part C fits in the end. No glue is needed. Fit the fibre. Oh, crikey, one of these has already fallen out. Push the fibres through part C so they extend about 10 mil to ensure they cannot slip out. So I've done them slightly more than what we probably need to, but slightly more is better than not enough, because I know in a bit we're going to be doing something slightly different with these. So we push the fibre optics through that. Let me show you on this one. So we push them through that way, and then they should hold themselves in position there. Just get this. One of these is not quite right. There we go. That should do it. Let me just check I'm putting this in the right way around. Yep. So the fibre optics, the shorter ends, will go into this bit just here, and it does hold the tension quite well like that. So there we go. So I've just pushed those through. Like I say, a little bit more than we probably need. It says 10mm, but if you do them a little bit more, obviously that can't hurt. So that's stages 1 and 2. Now for stage 3, identify the two raised screw sockets circled on part 23. Let me get these screws out, because I think we're going to need these now. On 23.1, where the fibre grip will be positioned. Thread the fibres under the bar of 23.1. Get rid of this bit of rubbish. And the metal part 24.1 and fit the recess around the sockets. Right, so looks like it's this bit just here. So if I just swing this up and show you a little bit better on this camera, try and hold this without breaking anything. So it looks like they're going into those two little holes. Do this into the light a bit more. There we go. So just those two holes there, and then there's like a little gap. I don't think you can make. Oh, you can just about there. That little gap there is that where they've got to go through to hold the fibre optics into position. So let me make sure I'm doing this right. So if I just thread those through that little hole there, like that, and then I'm just going to use my tweezers to pull each one of them up as they come through that hole, just so they can go over this bit of plastic just here on the wing former. There we go. So now those are all through. I can just thread that in like that, so that'll stay on there. Let me show you on this camera here. It's not screwed in yet. Whoops. But sorry, camera's banging around all around me now. Just move this stand out of the way. So that bit is now in position. Use a small flat tool. So I'm going to use the end of my tweezers. To ease the ends of the optical fibres back towards part C so they are flush with the end of the opening in part 39.3. So that's this opening just here. So all I'm going to do is just use that to push those fibres. I'll use my thumb first. Make sure I don't do these too far now. No. Right, so just going to push these using the flat bit of my tweezers there. So they're all flush with that bit just there like that. So they should be flush with this little rim part just around here. So what I'll do, I'll just get my side camera and I'll use this as a portable camera for a moment so you guys can see what I mean. So that's the fibre optic holder there. Fibre optics have been pushed through that little gap just under there, and we've then pushed them flat against this edge just here, just so they are level. So when we put the LED in, it's still going to work nicely. Speaking of which, take the cable with the LED and the cable label and remove the backing and attach it to the end of the cable near the connector. So opposite end to where you've got your LED. So this bit is nice and simple. Just hook that around there like that. Make sure it sticks properly together. Then you've got your label on a cable. Fit the LED on the end of the cable 40.4 into the open end of the optical fibre grip. So there's like a little groove in where the optical fibre grip sits. That's where this LED's got to go now. It looks like a couple of my fibres have moved forward a little bit, so I'm putting those back in. And we'll just attach the fibre optic into there just like that. And then we take the other half of the optical fibre grip 39.2, which is this one just here, and fit it over the 39.3, enclosing the LED as indicated. So that's it. So there's that little groove kind of in this part just there. That has to go over where the LED is. It kind of holds it all in position like that. And then fix the optical fibre grip in place using 2 PWB screws. Dropping my screwdriver and hitting the microphone all at the same time. I'm good at this, aren't I? So, screw this in. That's one in. Whoops. A bit of my wing's fallen off. I can see that panel being annoying because it's fallen off about 6 times already. So, that is the optical fibre grip in place with the LED attached as well. So that's nice and snug. Move that extra screw out of the way. Now, turn the model around so you can access the leading edge of the left wing. Take the 3 optical cable holders, A/B, assembled in the previous issue, and fit the first one onto the free end of one of the optical fibres, a short one. Do not use any glue. As I said before, because the fibre optics will go brittle if you get super glue on them, and then they will snap, and then they won't work, obviously, because there's no light getting to the machine guns. It's supposed to be the machine guns. The fibre is a tight fit and will stay in place. Fit the remaining optical fibres AB onto the remaining short optical fibre, and the middle length one is shown. Finally, fit the assembly AD onto the longest optical fibre. So, what I've done, I've kept these all separate. So, just in the top of the case, the top of the pack from the previous issue. So, the AD goes on the longest one. And these are, I've already tested these as well, and they are not a ridiculously tight fit, but they are snug. Let's call them snug. So those are all attached. That's all of the, basically these are imitating the machine guns. There we go. So I can get rid of that bit now. Now, next part of the instructions are identify the 4 fixing points for the optical fibre holders along the edge of the left wing in the wing frame 20.3. So I'll bring in the side camera again so you guys can see it. So you've got 4 little holders. So there's one there. Whoops, point it at the right part of the model, James. So you've got one there, one there, one there, and then there's one just there. So all along the leading edge, and you can actually see here in the kind of the shape of the wing, you've got a little groove that's being cut out just there, and a slight one just there. So obviously those are for the actual parts to sit into. Right. So. Right, identify the 4 fixing points which we've just done along for the optical fibre holders along the edge of the left wing in the wing frame 23.1. Note that the fixing point near the end of the wing with the blue arrow has a larger square recess to accommodate the optical fibre holder AD, which is why obviously that one is longer and its end is a slightly different shape. Next is step 11, which is take the longest optical fibre and fit the flat side of the holder A/D into the recess. Now, we do need to use glue for this, but very, very, very sparingly. So, let's get myself some glue out. Right. The fibre also has to be fitted into a notch in the wing frame 23.1 indicated by the arrow. So, I'll just show you this arrow as well on the close-up. So, this fibre optic here will come down this side here. So you've got like a little kind of channel running down here. That little notch there is what it will go through, and then the part D will sit into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that part down into that channel. And it flew off. Right, so I'm going to move that part down into that channel first, so that I know that it's sat right. And I'm going to bend it into that little groove. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of super glue onto the bottom of part D first, just a light little bit of glue. Not going anywhere near the anywhere near where the fibre optic's going to sit. And then I'm just going to put that back onto the end of there. Wrong way. And then I'm going to drop that into place like that, so then I can hold that in place, and hopefully that should glue into position when that glue sets. There we go, I think that's good. So these fibre optics do have a bit of spring to them as well, so that's why you need to use enough glue on these to hold them in place, just not enough for it to break the fibre optic. Right, that's fine. That feels like it's in there. So fit the pegs on the 3 holder ABs into the remaining 3 recesses and glue in place. Again, the fibres sit in notches indicated by the blue arrows. So what I'm going to do with these ones then is just glue them all in. So you guys will see what I'm doing. But obviously I'm going to just speed it up because it's all the same sort of thing, just as long as you get everything sitting in the right place. Right, there we go. So, as you can see here, all 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all attached. All of the fibre optics are going through their own individual cable, their own individual kind of grooves, so that they sit nicely all along the edge. So I'll just bring this up and show you a little bit of a better angle on those just there, so you can see the fibre optics. Now the next bit is, whoops, put the propellers in the right place there. The next bit is to actually test them. So I've got my battery pack and everything just here from when we checked the motor for the landing gear in the previous issues. So take the battery box 12.3 and check that it is turned off, which mine is. Connect the testing board, which is, I've just left that attached to the battery box. Connect the LED cable to the LED socket on the testing board. So that one is there, so that one will go in like that, I'm guessing, yes. Make sure I've got that the right way around, yes I have. So, clip that into there, like that. There we go, that's in. On the testing board, then turn on the battery box. The optical fibres carry the light from the LED to the tips of the fibre holders on the edge of the left wing. When you have tested the cables, turn the battery box off and disconnect the cables. So, yep, that's working. Now this is an issue 40 where we get a fibre optic and or a light, and I don't try and test it too quick. And if you don't know what I mean by that, go and watch issue 40 of the Bismarck. There was a lot of swearing. Parts went flying, not on video, but I cut the video. Go and watch issue 40 of the Bismarck, you'll see what I mean. So, now, if I do that again, you guys can see there it's lighting up nice and clearly. So what will be happening, if I can try and tip this up this way just to show you on the camera just here. So as soon as I turn that on, all of the machine guns light up. So when it's actually powered up, when the model's actually finished, it will kind of do that. But I think they do it individually, and if not, don't really matter, does it? So that's it. That is everything done for issue 40. With issue 41, we basically do the same thing that we've just done with issue 39 and 40 on the right wing. So that's that. So again, next one will be a nice quick issue. I'll probably just build that and just show you how it all looks. I don't really see much point in building them and showing you on camera, because I showed you with issue 39. Then with issue 42, I will show you, but I'll just kind of do most of it. Probably is just sped up footage so you can see how it looks when we're on the other side of the Spitfire. So, please remember to like, share and subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model building geekiness, and I will see you in the next video for issue 41 very soon. So until then guys, please remember, happy modelling and stay safe.